Thank you for staying with us. And we continue with the day's business. The government is evaluating proposals from two private investors, namely Africa 50 and Power Grid India, that are keen on investing in Kenya's national grid under the public-private partnership model. Kenya Electricity Transmission Company KETRACO Managing Director Engineer John Mativo says Kenya is exploring the public-private partnership model to raise 677 billion shillings from the private sector to ease pressure on the public coffers to fund some infrastructural projects.
Revamping and expansion of high-voltage transmission cables hit the headlines when Adani Energy Solutions in October 2024 signed a 95.7 billion shillings deal with Kenya Electricity Transmission Company KETRACO to build and maintain power transmission lines and substation in Kenya over a period of 30 years under the public-private partnership model. However, President William Ruto cancelled the deal in November 2024 during his State of the Nation address in Parliament, citing credible information pointing to corruption. And now, Kenya Electricity Transmission Company KETRACO Managing Director Engineer John Mativo says the government has reopened talks with Africa 50 that was among firms that had last year expressed interest in the public-private partnership model, as well as Power Grid India, to undertake electricity transmission projects under the build, own, operate and transfer arrangements.
The proponent we are discussing is two transmission lines. One of them is from a point called Lesuk, passes next to the geothermal fields in Paka Baringo, goes all the way to Lesos. This line allows wind-generated power from Longalani to flow to the western part of the country and allows the 300 megawatts that GDC plans to generate in Paka area to also flow into the rest of the grid.
He underscored the need for public-private partnership model to modernize the national grid infrastructure in the face of increasing electricity demand.
Currently, when you do the weighted average, we are way below what the sovereign will be borrowing under Eurobond. So we're just trying to push it as much as possible to see where we can get. We hope, we're asking for 14, they're asking for 16. We hope we can get a position in between.
Engineer Mativo was speaking during an editors' roundtable on public-private partnerships and privately initiated proposals in Kenya's energy infrastructure sector.
African countries and World Bank and ADB have agreed by 2030, 300 million people who don't have power right now should be connected. So there's a strategy that everybody has signed up to get ourselves to connect as many people as possible to power.
KETRACO is keen on 14 transmission projects under the public-private partnership model. They include the 206-kilometer, 400 kilovolts Gilgil-Konza Nairobi East Konza line, 145-kilometer, 220 kilovolts Kiambere Maua Isiolo line, and the 179-kilometer Lesos Losuk line. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.